Sarah's been working for 3 years. She has a degree, a steady job, pays her rent on time. She's not reckless. She doesn't blow money on designer bags or Vegas trips. But when her car broke down last month, she had to put $800 on a credit card because her emergency fund's still at zero, and she's tired of feeling like she's failing at something everyone says is basic. If that sounds familiar, this video is going to completely change how you see money. Because the problem was never you. Listen, I know you've been told to save 3 to 6 months of expenses. I know you've heard the same advice over and over. Cut the lattes, cancel subscriptions, stop eating out, and maybe you've tried. But here's the truth nobody talks about. The system you're living in wasn't designed for you to build an emergency fund easily. It was designed to keep you spending. And until you understand that, you're going to keep feeling like you're the problem. You're not. So if you're ready to see what's really going on and how to finally break through it, stay with me. Because by the end of this, you're going to know exactly what to do next. And if that's valuable to you, just tap that like button so I know you're here and this is helping. Let me paint the real picture. The average American has less than $400 saved for emergencies. That's not a guess. That's Federal Reserve data. $400. Meanwhile, the average unexpected expense, medical bill, car repair, broken appliance, ranges between $500 and $1,500. You see the gap. You're supposed to be prepared for life, but life costs more than what most people have saved. And it's not because people are lazy. It's because the math doesn't work. Here's what I mean. Let's say you make $50,000 a year. After taxes, that's around $37,000. Rent in most cities, $12,000 to $18,000 a year. Student loans, another $3,000 to $6,000. Car payment, insurance, gas, groceries, utilities. You're looking at $30,000 to $35,000 just to exist. That leaves you with maybe $2,000 to $7,000 a year if nothing goes wrong. And we both know something always goes wrong. So when people say just save, they're ignoring the fact that the margins are razor thin. You're not failing. You're playing a game with loaded dice. But here's where it gets deeper. And this is the part that actually matters. It's not just the numbers. It's the psychology. Your brain is wired to prioritize immediate survival over future uncertainty. That's not a flaw. That's evolution. When you have $20 left after paying bills, your brain doesn't think emergency fund. It thinks I need to eat tomorrow. And that makes perfect sense. But the financial advice industry acts like you're broken for thinking that way. They shame you. They call it discipline. But really, they're ignoring the fact that your nervous system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Protect you right now. And here's the thing most people don't realize. The entire economy is built on you not saving. Credit card companies make money when you carry a balance. Retailers design apps to make buying one click easy. Even your bank charges you fees if your balance drops too low. It's not a conspiracy. It's just a business model. And if you don't see it, you'll keep blaming yourself for a system that's working exactly as intended against you. So let's talk about what actually changes this. Because I'm not here to just make you feel better. I'm here to give you a real plan. And the first shift you need to make is this. Stop trying to save $1,000 at once. That goal is too far away. Your brain can't connect to it. It feels impossible, so it becomes invisible. Instead, your first goal is $50. That's it. $50 that you do not touch. You put it in a separate account. High-yield savings, if possible. Ally, Marcus, whatever. Somewhere it's out of sight. Not because $50 will save you, but because $50 proves to your brain that you can do this. And that proof is everything. Here's the framework. Week 1. $50. However you can. Sell something. Skip to takeout meals. Work 1 extra hour. I don't care. Just get to 50. Then week 2. Do it again. Don't add to the 50. Start a new 50. Because the goal isn't the amount yet. The goal is the habit. You're teaching your brain that money can stay, that it doesn't have to leave the second it arrives. And that rewires everything. Now once you hit $200, that's your micro emergency fund. It won't cover a car repair, but it'll cover a flat tire, a prescription, an overdraft fee. And the moment you use it, you don't spiral. You don't go into debt. You just rebuild it. 200 becomes your floor. Not your ceiling. Your floor. And here's what happens. Most people never get past 0 because 0 feels permanent. But once you have 200, you start seeing 300 as possible, then 500, then 1,000. It's not about the money. It's about momentum, and momentum is the only thing that beats inertia. But let me tell you what will kill this before it starts. Guilt. You're going to have a bad week. You're going to spend money you wish you didn't. You're going to feel like you failed. And if you let that guilt convince you to quit, you'll stay stuck forever. So here's the rule. No guilt, just data. You spent an extra $60 this week. Fine. Why? Was it emotional? Was it necessary? Was it avoidable? Don't judge it. Just notice it, because awareness is the first step to change. And change doesn't happen through shame. It happens through clarity. Now, let's talk about the second psychological trap. And this one's big. You've been taught that saving means sacrifice, that if you're building an emergency fund, you can't enjoy your life. And that's a lie. A dangerous one. Because, if saving feels like punishment, you won't do it. Your brain will resist, so instead, flip it. Saving isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. Every dollar you save is a dollar that buys you options. It buys you the ability to say no to a job you hate, to leave a bad situation, to not panic when life happens. That's not sacrifice. That's power. And once you see it that way, everything changes. Here's a real example. Let's say you make $3,000 a month after taxes. Your expenses are $2,700. That leaves you $300. Most advice says, save all $300. But that's not realistic. You'll burn out. Instead, save $150, spend $150 on things that matter to you. Not guilt purchases. Not stuff you don't care about, but things that actually improve your life. A dinner with a friend. A book. A small trip. Whatever. Because if you feel like your life is good while you're saving, you'll keep doing it. But if saving makes your life worse, you'll stop, and then you're back to zero. So the strategy is this. Automate the $150. Set up an automatic transfer the day after payday. You never see it. It's gone. And then live on what's left. Not in a stressful way, but in an intentional way. That's the difference between deprivation and design. Deprivation breaks you. Design builds you. And if you're thinking this is helpful, drop a comment and let me know where you're starting from. 0, 5,500, because I read every single one, and it helps me make better videos for you. Now here's where most people get stuck. They start saving. They get to 300, 500, even 1,000, and then life hits. The car breaks. The medical bill comes, and they have to spend it. And they feel like they lost, like they're back to square one. But that's not what happened. You didn't lose. You won. Because the whole point of the emergency fund is to use it. That's why it exists. The failure isn't spending it. The failure is going into debt instead. So if you had to use your emergency fund, that means it worked. And now you just rebuild. Same process. Same system. No drama. But here's the part nobody tells you. The first 1,000 is the hardest. Because you're building the habit, the identity, and the fund all at the same time. But once you hit 1,000, the next 1,000 comes faster. Because your brain has proof. It's not theoretical anymore. You've done it. And that confidence accelerates everything. So if you're at 0 right now, I'm not going to lie to you. The first few months are going to feel slow. But if you stay consistent, month 4, 5, 6, it starts to snowball. And by month 12, you're not the same person you were when you started. Here's another thing. The US credit card debt average just hit $17,000 per household. $17,000. And most of that is from emergencies that people couldn't cover. A $500 car repair becomes $2,000 after interest. A medical bill becomes collections. An overdraft fee becomes a cycle. That's not bad decision making. That's what happens when you don't have a buffer. So every dollar you put into your emergency fund isn't just saving. It's defense. It's keeping you out of a trap that costs 10 times more later. And I want you to think about this. What would your life look like if you had $2,000 saved right now? Not for a vacation. Not for a purchase. Just sitting there. How would that change the way you feel on a random Tuesday? Would you sleep better? Would you breathe easier? Would you feel less afraid? That's what we're building. Not just money. Peace. So here's your action plan. This week. Tonight, if possible. Open a separate savings account. Name it Do Not Touch. Transfer $50 into it. If you don't have 50, transfer 20. If you don't have 20, transfer 10. The amount doesn't matter yet. The action does. Then next week, do it again. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you make more money. Start now, with what you have, because the biggest lie you've been told is that you need to be ready. You don't. You just need to start. And here's what to stop doing immediately. Stop checking your emergency fund every day. You're going to want to watch it grow, but every time you check it, you're reminding your brain that it's there, and that makes it easier to justify spending it. So set it, forget it, and check once a month. That's it. Let it grow in the background while you live your life. Now let's talk about automation, because willpower is overrated. You're not going to save consistently if it depends on how motivated you feel. Motivation fades, systems don't. So automate everything. Automatic transfer to savings, automatic bill pay, automatic debt payments if you have them. Remove the decision. Because every decision is a chance to choose wrong. And when money is automatic, it just happens. No willpower required. Here's a framework you can use. It's called the 503-020 rule. 50% of your income goes to needs, 30% to wants, 20% to savings and debt. Now I know that sounds impossible if you're barely getting by. So adjust it. 70 minus 20 minus 10. Or 80155. Whatever fits your reality. The point isn't the exact number. The point is the structure, because structure creates clarity, and clarity creates action. And if you're thinking I don't make enough to save anything, I hear you. But here's the truth. It's not always about making more. Sometimes it's about spending less on things that don't matter so you can spend more on things that do. And I'm not talking about cutting out joy. I'm talking about cutting out noise. Subscriptions you forgot about. Fees you didn't notice. Impulse buys that felt good for 10 minutes and then disappeared. Those add up. And when you redirect them, they become your foundation. But let's be real. Sometimes it is about income. And if that's where you're at, this isn't about hustling harder. It's about being strategic. Can you ask for a raise? Can you switch jobs for more pay? Can you pick up a side gig that doesn't drain you? I'm not saying work yourself to death. I'm saying look at your options. Because staying stuck out of fear is more exhausting than taking one step forward. Here's the identity shift I want you to make. Stop calling yourself bad with money. Stop saying you can't save. Stop repeating the story that you're always going to be broke. Because every time you say that, you're programming your brain to prove it true. Instead, start saying this. I'm someone who saves, even if it's $10. Even if it's slow. Even if nobody sees it, I'm someone who saves. That identity will change your behavior faster than any budget. And here's why this matters. Building an emergency fund isn't about the money. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle life without falling apart. It's about becoming someone who doesn't panic when the check engine light comes on. Someone who doesn't lose sleep over a $400 bill. Someone who has options. And that version of you, that's who you're building right now. $1 at a time. So here's my challenge to you. Save this video, come back to it in 30 days, and leave a comment telling me where you're at. Because I want to see your progress. I want to see you win. And if this helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because the people around you are struggling with the same thing. And maybe this is the thing that finally clicks for them. You're not bad with money. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're just figuring it out in a system that was never designed to make it easy. But now you know. And now, you have a plan. So go open that account. Transfer that 50 and start building the life where emergencies don't break you. Because you're not just saving money. You're saving yourself.